Hello everyone, it's Phyrexian Tower. Today we are playing Abhorrent Oculus, the card from Duskmourn new set, and in my opinion best card from that set by far. This card has been amazing in early testing and I've tested it in a bunch of different decks and I've been really impressed. I wanted to start the YouTube with this build because it's most focused around Oculus more than any other builds. Oculus is just super important in this deck and a lot of the gameplay resolves around it. Okay, it's also very synergistic and there are a lot of ways to cheat it in. So let's go through that. First we got Stitcher Supplier. This card is incredibly in pair with Oculus and we should always consider it in decks playing it. So the strongest possible play in this deck is turn 1 Stitcher Supplier and turn 2 bring back Oculus. So we can do that by getting 2 mana from Phyrexian Tower and just playing hard casting Oculus by sacking the Stitcher Supplier. We can also unearth it turn 2 or Cetonian Nightmare it if we mill it over with Stitcher Supplier. So there are 3 different ways to cheat it in on turn 2, and when you do that it's just incredibly powerful. It provides value immediately on their upkeep by manifesting Dread, and manifesting Dread is proving to be very strong ability, much better than I thought initially, and often you will flip like Satoru, Psychic Frog, Oculus with it and it will be really strong. It's just, I was amazed just how well this Manifest Dread ability worked in this deck. Okay, so we also have Flare of Malice, another unfair card which not a lot of decks can really use it well, but this deck can use it incredibly well. And we got 4 of the flares and it's very good card at the moment. Cetonian Nightmare, great card with Satoru and a great card with Oculus obviously. Another sweet interaction in this build is that Oculus triggers Satoru. That is super sweet. It makes it even better in this deck because if you have a combination of Satoru and Oculus on the field, this means you are drawing 1 card in opponent's upkeep for free with Satoru ability. That always feels super strong, and together with 4 Nightmares, 4 Frogs and 4 Oculus, 4 Satoru, there we don't need any other card advantage. This deck just grinds incredibly efficient and it can draw really insane amount of cards, and you do all that by developing your board. That is the incredible thing about it. So on the sideboard we got Fulminator Mage as my land hate piece. You could possibly play Harbinger of the Seas, but since this deck is primarily black, I think Harbinger would not play just as you would hope to. So I prefer Fulminators, and we have Unearths and Nightmares. Fulminators in this deck from the sideboard can really destroy some opponents. A Cursed Marauder as additional removal. We already have 4 Fatal Push, 4 Flare, but a Cursed Marauder works great with Unearthed. Nightmare can kill creatures that ordinary removal can't, so it's very useful card. So Phyrexian Revoker, you are not very used to seeing this card in the sideboards. You mostly see stuff like Needle, but I think having Phyrexian Revoker is better than that in the sideboard like this, because we play 4 Unearthed, 4 Nightmare, and even if opponent kills it, there are just so many ways to bring it back. Also, sometimes manifesting Dread can happen, and that's pretty cool too. So I think Phyrexian Revoker is the best hate option of that kind for this sideboard. The 3 Nihil Spellbombs, my favorite graveyard hate piece recently. So that's it. Consigned to Memory is a very versatile card. Great against Eldrazi, but also good against a lot of other stuff. Great against Rings. So it's like additional Eldrazi hate that can also help in some other matchups. Okay, so that is it. We will now go to the gameplay. Before that, let me just remind you of my dictionary profile. You can find the link down below in the video description. And here you can find additional content I make. On this page it's Patreon-like page, and you can subscribe to get access to all the content here. Okay, so this is the medium tier guide, medium tier, where I keep all my sideboard guides. I got Domain Zoo sideboard guide, Mardu Bombardment sideboard guide, and regular Mardu Energy sideboard guide. So 2 Mardu Energy guides, one heavily relying on Bombardment, other without it, and Domain Zoo sideboard guide, the list I used to win challenge like a month ago, and I'm still very happy with it. and I plan on updating these guides regularly and making new ones also. So after the Duskmourn meta settles, I will definitely look at all these lists and the sideboard options and update it as I think, as I prefer at the moment. But three fully updated cyber guides at this moment are there. Also, if you're interested in my guide tire subscription plan, so the $20 one, currently I have a new article called Tips and Tricks on Energy and Zoo. Okay, so this is a 5,300 words on energy and zoo, 14 pages of my thoughts on both matchups, on both decks and its matchups against most relevant decks currently in the format. Okay, as you can see, there are also other articles, other guides there. These ones are older, not updated, and these are older MH3 articles, and I plan on making more in the future, more guides, more articles, as much as I have time, as much as I'm able to. Okay, so that's it. This is the newest thing there, and all the current medium tier subscribers can upgrade to guide tier and get additional month of subscription by just paying the difference between the two tiers. No need for paying full price for the full month. So that's it. Okay, thanks to everyone for continuing support here on Dictionary, and now we can go to check out the gameplay. Okay, so I only was able to play one league with this deck. Unfortunately, I was not able to play more because I was really impressed with this deck and really liked how it played out. Okay, so here I kept a land on top. I'm playing against Yawgmoth and I have two Flare of Malice. I really like Flare of Malice against them. Bowmaster is not too bad either. Okay, so a lot of good cards here against them. So I can play this slowly, just hold the Bowmasters. I let this one damage here, waiting to see their play, but they have Yawgmoth this turn. So I go for a Bowmaster. This is very sweet play. So I'm able to kill Young Wolf before they put Yawgmoth into play. So this way they will draw one less card. So first they go for the Halfling. And while the Young Wolf is in the graveyard, I use a Flare of Malice. And this way they can't, they draw minimum cards this way. So I was very happy with how this played out. And I have another Flare of Malice in my hand if they draw another Yawgmoth. Okay, so here they go for the Geralt Messenger. And yeah. I go for another Bowmaster. I want to put them down as low as possible. That's always good when you're playing against Yawgmoth. Here you can see opponent plays the Innkeeper, passes the turn. Okay, so I go for the Stitcher Supplier, mill 3, and you can see just how good Stitcher is with Oculus. It enables you to play Oculus, and the Phyrexian Tower is just crazy. So here I was able to play the Oculus. I still have a Flare of the Malice. I can't attack this turn, but I'm manifesting in their upkeep, so that's pretty good. Opponent only one card in hand at this point, so I am at a significant advantage. Okay, so also you can, when you manifest the card, you can pay its mana cost to flip it over, which can be very useful in situations like this. As you can see here, I have Bloodgust below this, which means I can basically sack the Bloodgust, then play the Satoru, then play the land, get the Bloodgust back. A lot of really strong plays like this, but obviously for some reason I did not do that. I think I forgot to do it, and yeah, it was a mistake. And now after I played too fast, and after I casted my Satoru, now it was too late. Okay, so I manifest in their upkeep. Yeah, I just missed a trigger here for nothing, so I could have played this much better, but it is what it is. Okay, so here I decide to fetch, and my opponent, unfortunately for me, finds Yawgmoth with Birthing Ritual. That is the best possible find they could have at this point, but I have another Flare of Malice, and yeah, it was too much for the opponent, and they decide to concede here. And I had the kill with Oculus, so that was the game, and yeah, let's check out game 2. Okay, so this is the thing I was talking about. It's pretty sweet. You will see it now. Okay, so I played turn 1 of Watery Grave, mill 3 with Stitcher Supplier. You can see my sideboarding plan here. Okay, so Unearthed went out and one Cetonian Nightmare and one Bloodgust. So I decided to put, of course, Revokers in. Revokers, pretty important piece. Marauder, not really good here since they play cards like a Young Wolf. Okay, so I decided to take everything from the side, from the graveyard instead, except for the Revoker, because I have Nightmare, so I can bring it back. Okay, opponent Manifest Dread in their upkeep, and they go for a Chord of Calling, and then sack the Apprentice. Get the Hapatra and sack the Young Wolf, get the Hapatra. They have a lot of good stuff on the field, but only 2 cards in their library, and I'm attacking with Oculus. I have Revoker named Yawgmoth, so they first need to find Bowmaster, and then after the Bowmaster they also need to find the Yawgmoth, because Oculus is very strong here and will kill them eventually. Okay, opponent finds Endurance here, so this means I probably won't be able to play my second Oculus this turn. But yeah, that's okay. I go for the Spell Bomb, I go for the Bloodgust, attack with Oculus, I still have my Revoker, and I Manifest Dread another Oculus. That's also just super good. Okay, so now my opponent finally finds that Bowmaster, and I will be able to bring that Revoker back, but I have to secure, I have to kill this Endurance, because Endurance could potentially mean they can find Yawgmoth this turn with Ritual. Okay, so they find another Bowmasters, and well, I had multiple options here, of course, so I could potentially just go find bring back the Revoker, but that was hard for me because I did not have creatures to sack, and instead I decided to just flip this Oculus and attack for 9. So this means I'm putting them down on 6 life, and if they don't get rid of my Oculus, I have lethal next turn, so this means they have to exactly find the Yawgmoth, play it, and also have Blood Artist or Zulaport, whatever they play, to get the win here, and I was able to just attack with Oculus next turn and finish this match. So that was the game against Yawgmoth. Obviously these flares were very effective in the Yawgmoth matchup. I like them a lot. Marauder from the sideboard, not very effective in this matchup, but they are definitely matchups where it's great, especially like stuff like Dimir Frog. Okay, so here is match 2. I kept a decent hand. 2 Fatal Push, Satoru, and Flare of Malice. Let's see how it went. I was playing second this one. Opponent starts off with Ragavan, and yeah. I play Satoru, opponent kills Satoru, then I find my third basic and play the Bloodgust. I focused on finding the basics in this matchup because I know the Boros versions play Blood Moon in the main, so I really wanted to go for the basics. Okay, so here opponent plays the Flage. I have removal. I'm okay with that. And yeah, so I have 4 cards in the graveyard. I'm really close to casting the Oculus. Just have to be patient. It's okay, so I don't really want to kill my Bloodgust, exile it, lose the Bloodgust from the yard. And I wanted to cast Oculus this turn, but I find Satoru on top, and I decided not to graveyard Satoru, but to keep it. Yeah, I think like Satoru can be really good in a situation like this. Don't have lands at the moment, but with Bloodgust, just 1 land from the top can definitely change the situation. And also Satoru is pretty good with Oculus. Okay, so sorry, it wasn't Satoru, but Sitonia Nightmare, which is very close. Okay, maybe I should have gone for the Bloodgust sack immediately here, bring back Satoru, not risk them having the lightning bolt. But I went for the Oculus. Exiled the Bloodgust, kept the Satoru in. This way I can sack the manifest creature next turn, bring back Satoru, then continue drawing cards with it. It feels really good, but I did not expect my opponent to have double Static Prison here. So they removed both of my creatures. I have to say I did not really expect it. And now I was in a tricky situation where opponent had Flage in the yard. They were very close to casting the Flage, and they find double Raptor. So another problem here is if I kill this Ragavan, then they will be able to escape Flage, and I'm trying to delay that. Okay, here is another Oculus from top, but unfortunately in this situation I'm not really able to cast it. Okay, so I have to take damage here. I have to take damage, and I'm saving Fatal Push for the Flage, and I'm trying to be patient for their Static Prisons to die. Okay, so the Supplier, it was a perfect top deck in this situation. I was able to cast my Oculus, and yeah, that was really amazing. So I cast the Oculus, exile 6 from the yard, keep Frog, Supplier and Satoru in the yard, and I still have Fatal Push for their turn. So I'm hoping to use Fatal Push to kill that Flage. And the sweet thing about Oculus is still filling your graveyard to cast a second Oculus to find good targets in the yard if you have Unearth or Nightmare. So it's really super effective. I'm just really happy with it. Okay, so you can see here opponent going face with the Flage ability. Okay, so opponent trying to make it look like they have Bolt. Obviously they don't. They're on 9 right now. I play Satoru, and I Manifest Dread in their upkeep, drawing a card with Satoru here. Okay, they have to pay 2 energy. They don't have to, so they have to sack 1 prison. So I get my Sitonia Nightmare back. And here I trigger the Revolt and Fatal Push the Flage. And my opponent plays Blood Moon plus Ajani in this situation, but it's really not enough right now. Okay, so I go for the Bogart Troller, exile their Flage from the yard, use a Sitonia Nightmare and attack them down to 4, and I got another Frog, trigger Satoru another time, and it's very simple. In this situation, opponent has to top deck either Flage or Bolt or another Ajani to kill, and yeah, the 1 cat token attack here is not enough, and that is the win for me. I have a bunch of attackers here with flying. I discard all my stuff, give frogs flying, and go for attack with all the flyers. So that is the game against energy. So let's check out game 2. In the game 2, Let's check out the sideboarding plan first. As you can see here, not a lot of changes. I boarded out 2 Unearths, 1 Bloodgust, and 4 the Nihil Spellbones. I think I'm already doing really well against it, so I don't think it's needed. And just forcing Oculus against them can be very efficient, and Oculus was just super sweet in this build. As you can in this league, as you can see, I immediately manifest that another Oculus in their upkeep, which is just ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous. So play this on turn 2, manifest dread another one, and then I spend my turn 3 just flipping this guy, attacking for 10, and then double manifest on their turn. It's really like more than strong. Okay, so I go for another basic. This is the important part. I think like going for basics is really good. I didn't want them let them flip the Ajani, so I go for double removal. I can't they can't flip the Ajani. If they flip Ajani, I have lethal, so they have to jump with Ajani, my Manifest Dread token. I leave them down on 2 life, but obviously that is not enough to come back, and I just attack with my Oculus next turn, and Oculus once again win. Super strong card. I'm really excited for it. Basically, after this league, I immediately just went online and bought them. Immediately, I was just super excited about this card, and I already played with it with another deck league before this, but in this league it was just super brutal. And yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the best card from the edition, and it might be a very relevant piece for the modern metagame in the future. Okay, so obviously, aside from this deck, I think it can be very helpful and very useful in the current Dimir Frog lists. The Dimir Tide, I think it can potentially replace some copies of Murktide and just be played in addition to the Murktide, or just completely replace Murktide at one point. But I think, yeah, playing both seems very good. I think deck potentially can support. And yeah, here I was playing against the red-green Delirium deck, and once again, here you can see me unearthing Oculus on turn 2, and it's just ridiculous how good this Oculus is. Yeah, my opponent plays the Fly Trap, but yeah, the Fly Trap, it's not a big threat for this deck. Because I play 4 Fatal Push, 4 Flare of Malice, and it's just not a great threat against this deck, since I have a lot of jumpers. It's very easy for me to jump it, and if I also have flyers, so I can jump even flying a Fly Trap, and there's just so much removal that kills it. And in this situation, Fly Trap is not very good. Okay, so that's it. I have lethal attack here, and my opponent concedes. Okay, so let's check out match 2, and let's also check out this is interesting matchup. One new Duskmourn deck against another new Duskmourn deck. So opponent here starts with Dragon Rage Channeler, and obviously I don't want to use the Fatal Push on it. I really want to use the Bowmasters, and I have the Nihil Spellbomb, and I did a very unnecessary mistake. This was just completely unnecessary, but I was like, there's just no chance. This was like completely unnecessary. Super unnecessary. I have no idea why I cracked that spell bomb there, but I was like, there's just no chance of them getting Delirium again. But my opponent plays Starfire, finds Fear of the Missing Out, and that was like super bad. I was so convinced there's no chance of them getting Delirium. I pressed F6, so I wasn't even able to respond with Flare of Malice on their killing my Bowmaster. So, well, that complicated this game unnecessarily a lot. It really complicated it a lot. And yeah, but still Frog is very strong card. And I was able to just discard my entire hand here on Frog, give it flying, block this channeler, let's say kill it for free. If they want to kill it, they have to play another card. And my opponent does play Pyroclasm here, kills both their Phoenix and my Frog. Next turn, I was able to exile their yard, draw another Frog. And yeah, that was really good in this situation. So now I have Frog on the field, Oculus in hand, another removal in hand. So pretty good position for me here. Not to mention that I can just discard 2 cards next turn, just play the Oculus, grow my Frog. It's, yeah, really good. Okay, so I go for the fetch. Now I have 6 in the yard, attacking with the Frog, drawing another card. I have option to I had option to play the Oculus immediately, but I changed my mind, so discard this land first. This way I can leave Psychic Frog in the graveyard in case I draw like Unearth or Sitonia Nightmare. Okay, again, Oculus doing incredible job. As you can see in this matchup, I brought in my graveyard hate pieces and removed some of my graveyard related stuff because they can also bring in the graveyard hate. So I trimmed 1 Unearth, 1 Nightmare, trimmed 2 Bowmasters, 2 Bloodgust, brought in my Nihil Spellbombs and Accursed Marauders. Marauders can be really cool in this matchup, like killing their big creatures like the Fly Trap or everything else. So okay, again, after doing like those few very important misplays, I again was stabilized, and not just stabilized but also just winning by a lot. And yeah, here I play the Oculus and unearth the Satoru. Satoru draws me a card here, and in their upkeep I manifest twice and draw 2 more cards. And yeah, again, these cards that I draw are also creatures that can be put face up by paying their mana cost, and yeah, it's just amazing, super amazing. Some synergies in this deck. Really incredible. Okay, so opponent plays the Fly Trap here. And they also have the Detective Phoenix. But I have Flare of Malice. And yeah, Flare of Malice means game over for this one. Okay, so that's it. That is the match 3. Let's now check out the match 4. This is the last win of this league, and then we will check out the defeat. Unfortunately, in that last match I lost. This was my only league with this deck. I'm really looking forward to playing more because I believe like it's super easy to make a trophy with this one. And here I have multiple situations. Obviously, I really want to kill this Ragavan by turn 2 Bowmastering it. So that is the reason why I didn't use the push here. But yeah, this way, with Supplier, I can just... My Supplier is dead, which means I can turn 2 Bowmaster and kill this Ragavan and then turn 3 play Oculus. But my plan changes after they play a double Ocelot here. And you can see opponent going for the Ajani. Obviously, they are scared of Oculus here. They really want to flip this Ajani, and they attack with both Ocelots, thinking I probably don't have removal, but I kill Ajani and block both of their Ocelots, and this game ends on the spot. So very fast a kill here. Okay, let's check out game 2. We already played against Boros Energy, but we can repeat the sideboard plan. As you can see here, trimming one Unearth, one Nightmare, because they can also bring in the Graveyard Hate, and also trimming in a couple of Bloodgusts and one Satoru. So I'm bringing in a Cursed Marauders. They can be useful here with the Unearths and Nightmares, and just killing their non-token creatures. And Nihil Spellbombs, of course, because of the Flage. And you can see that I kept a risky one lander here, which and they had like super pumped hand, and yeah, one lander was not gonna cut it in this game. So I concede and go to the game 3. Okay, so in the game 3, I kept a decent hand, Sitonia Nightmare plus Bowmaster, and a lot of 2 removals. That's really important here. So playing first is a lot different because you get to turn 2 Bowmaster there, 1 toughness creature, and that is immediately like a very different game. Okay, so here you can see them playing Amped Raptor and hitting the One Ring. That is the dream when you play against Boros Energy, and I've won so many games against Boros Energy just hitting the ring with the Raptor. And but okay, so here I was able to Sitonian Nightmare their token. They flip a Johnny and I use a Flare of Malice to kill their Ajani, and I also have Sitonian Nightmare in my hand and Fatal Push. My opponent concedes this one, knowing that I can abuse this Nightmare plus Phyrexian Tower. I can Bowmaster all their 1-drop creatures, and now when I have enough mana, I can even just repeat that and kill their 2 toughness creatures with just Sitonian Nightmare and double Bowmaster. So very hard situation for the opponent, and they realize that and concede immediately. So let's check out match 5, the last of this league, and unfortunately one when I did a small misplay, and that costed me the trophy in my first try with this build. Too bad, because it's a sweet build, definitely, and I was playing against Merfolk, so I have a lot of removal, and Oculus, I think, can really go crazy against this aggro decks that don't have removal, same as Frog and or Satoru. So, but opponent was playing first. It's yeah, it's sometimes hard when they play first and have a good hand. And you can see here I just have triple Satoru, but I decide to go for the Psychic Frog first. Unfortunately, they have Flare of Denial, and my opponent plays Harbinger of the Seas, but I don't. I already have 1 Swamp, so I'm kind of okay with that. And yeah, I killed their Harbinger immediately and unearthed my Psychic Frog back. Maybe, yeah. Okay, so maybe that I had option to unearth the Satoru there. Maybe that would end up better, but I was really happy with this situation. Opponent does have 2 Island Walk attackers there, but I tried to go for the Flare of Denial, and this was the big mistake I was talking about. Yeah, I think I even won this one. It wasn't the crucial one, but it was pretty bad. Okay, so I go for the Satoru here, draw a card, attack with 2 frogs, and draw a Fatal Push plus Unearth. Fatal Push, one of their Lord of Atlantis, but yeah, I wasn't really careful, and playing a removal on their turn wasn't really a good idea. My opponent plays another Harbinger here, which I didn't really mind. At this point, Harbinger doesn't do anything. I have 2 swamps, and I go for attack with everything. draw 3, play the Oculus, and play the Supplier and Manifest Dread in their upkeep. So this means I have 3 creatures for 3 blockers. My opponent can deal me 3 with Island Walk, but they need another Lord for the kill. They didn't find it, so that was win in game 1, despite me doing the mistake there by playing removal in their turn when they were untapped. If I played it on my turn, they could still use like Force of Negation, but they would have to exile a blood card. That is a significant difference. And you can see here, I have Supplier on turn 1, and I have Cetonian Nightmare. That can potentially be very, very strong. And but opponents playing first here, and they played turn 3 Harbinger of the Seas. So that was definitely a problem. I did not have triggered, did not trigger Revolt there, so I wasn't able to push the Harbinger. But I played Oculus instead. So I have Frog plus Oculus, and I had a swamp, but that, yeah, the big problem here was that opponent finds a Tide Shaper to make my swamp island. And yeah, so I went for the attack. I have double manifest. Problem is that all opponent has Island Walk, and they find a second Lord from the top for kill. If they did not have second Lord, I would get the win. I would have a certain lethal next turn. So my opponent got a little lucky there, and I also had other lines of play. Maybe there were better lines in this one, better lines for victory. And if I had this swamp, I would surely win. I had a bunch of good spells in hand. Most of them were black. Okay, so that's it. Let's go check out the final game of this league. The one for the trophy. And yeah, okay, so I can't play turn 1 Supplier here. I have Surveyland and the Phyrexian Tower, but my hand is pretty good. Okay, so I wasn't sure why my opponent shocked in. They obviously were holding something, but I didn't really think of Stern Scolding. I was thinking they have Spell Snare, so I'm just going to play a 1-drop into another 1-drop, like, which is Unearthed. But they had Stern Scolding, so yeah. I did not actually play against Merfolks for some time, and that was probably partially the reason why I didn't cross my mind that they play Stern Scolding post board. It's pretty obvious now. Okay, and now I was forced to unearth Stitcher Supplier from the yard, try to find more targets, and here I find Satoru, and yeah, I was pretty happy in this situation. So Satoru on the field with the Bowmaster and the Bloodgust. This means I can sack a Bloodgust next turn, and potentially if I draw land, just keep drawing cards. Okay, so Bloodgust in the hand, and Satoru step with this guy, the new Merfolk, also pretty cool Merfolk. And but yeah, here I played the Marauder, sack the Marauder on Flare, kill there another creature, then Fatal Push Lord and just attack them, and I got rid of all the creatures and get rid of their entire board, and I was feeling like really super strong in a situation like this. And at this point I was really favored. Okay, but my opponent, yeah, they had the thing. They had a very good hand, so they had subtlety, and they were able to scam the subtlety in with Tidebinder. I don't think this happens very often in Merfolk, but they were actually able to subtlety my Bloodgust, and I kept the Bloodlust on top. I didn't really count on them just scamming this subtlety and pressuring my life total this efficiently, and they went Ether Vial on 4. And yeah, I was really hoping for them to not have another subtlety, but yeah, another subtlety was terrible. I don't mind countering the Bloodgust or killing the Bloodgust, whatever. But I was holding that land in hand to get the draw, but now it was too late. I had to bottom the Bloodgust, play my land, and hope to find something from the top soon. 6 damage here was too much, so I decided to jump, and now I play the Bowmasters, kill their Adept. I mean, try to kill their Adept. That didn't really work since they had another Tidebinder, so yeah, my opponent had a really strong combination of last 4-5 cards, and yeah, this was too much. I exchanged with Adept, and unfortunately take 6 there. So I have Psychic Frog here, but it's not really great in a situation where I don't have any cards in the hand, and opponent is attacking me down on 2. So yeah, I tried to draw a card here, tried to find something. It didn't really work, so that was it. It was a really close match. I felt like I did multiple misplays this match through this entire match in all the games. I played well in other ones mostly, but this one I think yeah, it's sometimes it's hard to play deck for the first time, unexperienced about play patterns. I didn't play this archetype for a long time, and now there's also a new card and a completely new sideboard. Yeah, so yeah, definitely had some problems there, but if I played better, I think I could get the trophy in the first try. But overall, I was really impressed with Oculus. It was ridiculous in this build, and also confirmed already that it's good in other builds I tried. So I'm very optimistic about this card. It's a blue card, and we all know how blue cards like this often dominated the modern metagame through history, and it's another very powerful blue mythic with a very high potential, goes into multiple strategies. Strategies that don't play him, I think, can easily splash for it, and it's very also synergy with Satoru is great, and it works well with Frog since you can discard it then unearth it. That feels like a very good line of plays, because the value it provides immediately is very high, and if it stays on the field, the Manifest Dread ability also feels very strong. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you for watching this far. A friendly reminder to click like, click subscribe, and don't blame me if Oculus don't turn out as a $30 card, but yeah, I already bought mine, so if I'm wrong, I'm going to screw myself. Also, I think it's a very good investment from this edition. I think the card is going to see play. I feel it's going to be good. I was wrong in the past, so I could be again, but yeah, I'm just very optimistic about it. So that's it for today. Again, thank you for watching, and I want to see your comments down below, or on the Discord. Which deck did you use Oculus in? Where do you see it? What's your favorite deck to play Oculus in? I'm very interested in this matter, and I'm exploring all the options where Oculus can be played, and you will definitely see it again on the channel. That's it for today, and goodbye.